Welcome to Rauta's reaction videos with coffee. This time it's about a TV series which I enjoyed. I use past tense because, well, let's react to it. This is Severance Season 2, so let's tune in for this particular video and let's see what this trailer is all about. 2 minutes and less than 50 seconds. I'll review it on top of it.
One of the greatest moments of this planet.
Mr. Scout, I know you're still weighing whether to return to Lumen. But the mark I've come to know is happy.
Hello, is anyone there? Is the board on? It's Marquez from Macro.
What you all did was one of the most painful moments in the history of this company.
What the hell?
But the four of you have become known as the face of Severance reform.
Okay, so we're not in trouble?
I don't think so. Milchick said we're famous.
All of us equally, or one of us is like the star?
Now if you feel that you can't go on.
Ben Stiller,
What do you
yes,
guys see up there?
the famous comedian, as the director.
My Audi's wife died a few years ago, except the woman is Miss Casey.
So what are you gonna do?
I gotta get her out of here.
Mark, your Annie said she's alive.
This is obscene.
I just want to be sure.
Why did you do this? What is this all about?
Do you know something about Gemma?
Mark, there'll be no honeymoon ending for you.
Their work will be remembered as one of the greatest moments of this planet.
You don't value them. You fear them. We fear no one.
I'm tightening the leash.
If we let this happen to Miss Casey, who's gonna step up when it happens to us?
Now. Goodbye, Marquez.
Wait!
My name is
Yeah.
Michelle. It's my first day here as deputy manager. Mark W.
Why are you a child?
Because of when I was born.
Yep, as you can probably figure out from my reaction, I was already getting a little bit bored just by the trailer alone. Now, let's get first things first. Severance Season 1 was a good low sci-fi series. And when I say lo-fi, I really mean it. Saying that in terms of technology and all, you know, there isn't much sci-fi, obviously. I mean, let's separate it from the kind of series where you'll have lots of different levels of technology. The items are very much there, or there's some kind of a utopia or dystopia where, you know, the world is very, very different. In Severance, sure, the few essential technological takes are very much in the core, but it's not about fancy tech, what you see, but more like getting into the TV series like Lost, where you have this little bit retro-ish vibe. Saw the moment where there was this speaker and, you know, you would just unplug it. So lots of these stuff is like very, very retro in the sense of being 70s and all. And we had that stuff already with Lost some almost 20 years ago. Now, there are lots of these series and video games which are flirting about the kind of a alternative retro. And while it fascinates for a while, obviously you need an interesting story, theme, setting, interesting characters, good actors and all that stuff to make it full. And of course, story is where everything borns and everything ends. And unfortunately, as much as I liked Severance Season 1, I mean, that was kind of a roller coaster ride with a lot of mystique, a lot of interesting details, and like the kind of a mindfuck thing, like where is this going? what is happening here? What are these people? And then by mystery, it starts unfolding. So I was expecting a lot from Severance Season 2, just based on the Season 1. Like I said, for me it was one of the low sci-fi things for many, many years. Now, Season 2 is a big disappointment for me, but it's not that black and white. So, first of all, it starts very slow. Everything is a little bit confusing at start, in the beginning. And there are a lot of things which are like, hey, this doesn't make any sense. Are you just trying to, deepen the mindfuck situation? Like, hey, create more mysteries so you can unfold them again and again and again later on. And I felt like half the season is spent with just meaningless events, like creating these nonsensical mysteries over top of one another. Just like when sometimes you read these lyrics of badass evil metal band and you're like, they have a lot of words saying something like evil and dark and whatever, diabolical, but it doesn't make any sense. It's more like AI generated thing. And that's what I was thinking about Severance. You're trying to be so mysterious all the time that it becomes like kind of a nonsensical, really. If you got that feeling from Lost back in the days, yeah, Severance is kind of so hard doing that. And then there are parts where it gets really artsy. Sometimes I feel like Ben Stiller must have been like, wow, this is the biggest cinema kind of thing in terms of TV series. And there are lots of great scenes. I mean, in terms of how visual they are, the aesthetics, and the way they kind of maintain the mysteries is beautiful to, look at. But when it comes to the actual story, moving forward and explaining what is going on and elaborating the things, I mean, half the time I was like, okay, this is a snooze fest. I'm gonna just stop it here before I fell asleep. And I felt like maybe this is gonna be an episode or two, but then it kept going and going and going, and I felt like the more I invested the time, the more disappointed I was. Much like Andor, but even more. And even if the ending kind of managed to salvage some things and like, okay, this actually makes sense in that and that way, I felt like the disappointment is already too hard. So it's like, say you date someone who you find, okay, this is just, I'm wasting my time here. But there are glimpses of hope, so you kind of clinch to it. And you're like, okay, maybe this will get better over time. But then you feel more disappointments. And the more and more you do that, you kind of feel there is nothing that's gonna, save it. And for me, this season 2 of Severance kind of killed me for any kind of future for the coming seasons. Will I watch them when they come out? I don't know. It really depends now what other stuff there is to be seen. But at the moment I felt like if season 3 came like this year and like, hey, here it is, the sequel to season 1 and 2, I would feel like, okay, I'm gonna watch it in the foreseeable future with a maybe. So I don't know, for me it was a lot of mess, and as much as I tried to like it, it just kind of emphasized the feeling that there is so much better television out there. I mean, for me this year, shows like The Last of Us Season 2, wow. What I've currently been watching, My Neighbors and Friends, Your Neighbors and Friends, I think the name is. Silly name, but great television. So the more I've been seeing the good stuff, the more disappointed I feel with this kind of stuff that feels just like I keep repeating myself, nonsensical. So for the season 1, I still recommend to you to watch it, but this is not mandatory a sequel to watch. Of course, if you really, really like this kind of a low sci-fi, you probably want to see it anyway. But be warned, this didn't live up to expectations, and as such, disappointment it was. But this is my opinion. What do you think about Severance? Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy the detailed storytelling, world building and all that stuff, the characters, the actors, which are really good? Or did you just call it a day and say, fuck it, I'm gonna go away? Let me know, and see you soon with more reaction videos, both the series and music videos. Bye bye.